Because of desktop publishing programs, employees have become responsible for all facets of document creation, including layout and design. Designing a page requires that you make the page accessible to the user. The user will make judgments about the value of your ideas and information based largely on the look and feel of the document in question. The user will make assumptions about your authority or credibility based on a visual response as well. As page design and layout have filtered down from professionals to the average worker, document architecture concepts have filtered down as well. This lecture focuses on the principles of balance, connection, duplication, variation, and flow. We will also address elements of document architecture such as typography, headings, captions, and white space. At the completion of reading the chapter and listening to this lecture, you will accomplish the following learning objectives. Layout is simply the process of arranging elements of a document that give a document its shape and look. The design is the result of composing the visual form of a document. Typically, you are completing layout and design together when you create your technical documents. You can use many tools to create design. You can think about the use of lines and color. It's important to remember that warm colors like red, orange, and yellow draw a reader's attention more than cool colors such as blue and green, but that different colors have different cultural differences. So not all readers respond to colors in the same way. A red in America can represent celebration or victory, but it can also mean financial distress in the business world. Blue can indicate a calming or soothing atmosphere or environment. You also need to think about contrast with your colors. Contrast refers to your visual separation of the color. So dark and light colors should be used in contrast. But you would not want to pale yellow text on the same white background because it would be hard to read. So you need to think about the value of your color in having dark font with light backgrounds or bright font with dark backgrounds. You also want to think about the texture and how does the paper feel that you use for your technical documents. A resume can be a much higher quality paper value than perhaps newsprint. You also can think about shape and how shapes can be closed in with lines or filled in color, and that can draw someone's attention to information, that you can set off information in a shape. You can also think about open areas around objects and creating white space around that object to draw the reader's attention to it, and also the form of the object. Let's look at principles of document architecture. How does this ad illustrate the principles of balance? Well, it clearly illustrates a symmetric balance by having the headline, the body text, and the tagline all centered on the magazine ad. The horse is also centered on the ad. And then you can come down here and see how 4 parts, this little body text here, is proportionately represented across the page, making that also symmetrical. Now, how does this article illustrate the principle of connection? This article tells readers how to develop a separate welding and machining area inside a farm shop. Well, first, the headlines or headings within the document are close to the text paragraphs. Next, the captions for the visuals are close together. You can also look and see that this information is connected and separate from the document because it's in a different color, a different font, and designed differently on the page, but all of the information is connected by being designed inside that box. Now, how does this brochure illustrate the principle of duplication? It does so in a few ways. For the first way, it uses same colors throughout the brochure, following the greens, tans, and gray on the different panels of the brochure. It also uses the same font for the body of the text, and the title of the program is on both panels of the brochure. We can also see it shows duplication on this panel by having bulleted items all formatted the same, and that these same bullets are used on this panel. You may also note that the contact information is centered on the bottom part of the page in this middle panel, while it's done the same way on this middle panel. Now, let's explain how this set of instructions illustrates the principle of variation. First, it uses different font types. You will note that the headings, like supplies that are needed include, and step 1, 2, 3, etc., are in a different font type than the body of the text. You'll also note that the font size for these headings is larger than the body text, and that it's bold for headings compared to the body text. We also see varied color, and that you'll see the use of green to explain what each step is and the list of supplies that are needed. Now, flow is an important concept for readers, and that you want to be able to help the reader's eye move from one part of a document to another. And this ad effectively follows what's called a Z-line in creating flow. It will start by having a headline go across the page, then with some body text that goes across the photo, and you can see the horses all going one direction, leading your eye to this bottom corner. And then the text in the body of the ad goes all the way across to the end of the ad where it ends at the logo here for the American Quarter Horse Association. This ad is an excellent example of flow. Now, how does this advertisement represent white space? It does a fabulous job in showing that you have an image that shows a wide open space with a rider and a horse, and then this large amount of space on the top of the ad that says life needs space. Now, something that you want to remember is that white space in a document can be between text and visuals, and that you can use white space around highly important information such as this tagline, life needs space, and that the white space can show a connection or relationship among the items. It shows a connection of the space in the white part of the ad with the idea that you have a wide open space where you can enjoy riding your horse and taking your featherlight trailer to different places and enjoy riding. Now, typography is very important. Typography refers to the arrangement, style, appearance, and printing of text on a page. Typography is more than a font. It encompasses font style, font size, emphasis, case, spacing, and justification. Let's take a look at how typography is represented in this example of a 2-page magazine layout published in Successful Farming in January 2009. The first part, that you want to note is that a sans serif font style is used for the headline and the headings in the document. It's also used for the captions. This clearly illustrates how this information is different than the body text. The body text uses a serif font. You'll also note that the headline has a larger colored font size, and that this color is carried through with the headline being repeated on page 44, or the second page of the article, as well as the headings. And then lastly, a boldface font is used for captions. This differentiates the caption from the body text.